Today's Why Guy question comes to us from one of our favorite reporters, Backroads' John Bartel.
Why is the Capitol covered in plastic?
John, lots of fixing going on at the Capitol. There are drainage issues with all 3 balconies and porticos, along with standing water under the black and white marble tiles. This has caused staining on the granite facade of the building. Work should be finished on the west side of the Capitol before the December 5th tree lighting ceremony, and the rest of the repairs completed on the north and south sides by early January. Renovations are also underway to upgrade the 67-year-old Capitol Annex next door, which houses many legislative offices adjacent to the 19th century main Capitol building. The cost of this renovation? $755 million. Almost 2 million people visit the Capitol annually, and there are safety issues like uneven floors, leaks, and the lack of a sprinkler system. From Sacramento Assemblyman Kevin McCarty, quote, "We know this is one of the most visited places in the state of California. What they don't know is this building is a death trap," end quote. Once completed, the upgraded and safer Capitol Annex will include a parking garage and a visitor center. The Annex repair should be done by the year 2025.